travel loop, okay, travel through, travel, iterate, loop through, navigate, all are equal. So now use here while loop. In for loop we need not to set up the I value first. Okay, I is equal to 0, no need to set up. Here we need to set up the I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0 initial. I is equal to 0, yeah, 1, whatever you want. Next, once I is equal to 0 you have set, use while loop syntax while. You need to use the condition I less than or 5. Okay, next is what? If condition is okay, you take print out, print I. After that you don't forget I to be incremented, otherwise you will get a infinite loop. So now by this what happened, you will get the 0 to 4 values. 0 to 4 values. These are, how can I say that, you use a printout statement here, you use a string value here, values by while loop, you use like this. These loop values are being values by while loop 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. For here you use values by for loop, values by for loop. Okay, now what happened here, these values given by while loop, these values given by for loop. You need to write for loop. Okay, so then you can identify that. So values given by while loop. So while loop used here to loop through a number, but I want to loop through tuples. Tuple is what is our tuple? Our tuple is int number. Here use the square bracket. Okay, square bracket. We will use the index here. We will take index. Okay, now see here what is happening. Now these values will be printed. What is tuple values? These values. Before that, if I don't want to use the tuple name, so then if I keep simply I, only the I value 0, from 0 to numbers will be printed. Whenever I have given the, this is what your tuple name, so I want to loop through tuple values. Initial value at 0 index, okay, initially 0, so I means index, so that value will be taken. Next value, so that is what, okay, initial I is equal to 0, so first index this value will be printed. I, now I will be incremented to 1 is less than 5, I less than 5. So here we can use one condition, that is what you use for this, because we, if tuple is 1000 values, so how can you find out that length of that? So here simply I have used 5, but if tuple is 1 lakh elements, but you don't know how can you count, so use that moment len function, len of int number. So here len of int number is what, 5, so I less than 5, that will be taken. Okay, whenever your tuple is, it is so vast tuple, so you don't, it is very difficult to count, program will count, the software will count. So that moment use the len function here, len function of the tuple name. So how much of length the tuple is, it doesn't matter. It will, the software will count that length of the tuple values, and that will be the condition will be set up. Okay, so that is what a loop through tuple values. For loop I have used in index numbers. Here while loop to travel through here, where is that? Simply I have used for loop here, range function used, length function, range function used to loop through values by indexing. You write here by indexing. Okay, that is next what is done. While loop I have used, so after that use while loop to try iterate through. This is okay. Int number as so now this is okay. See, this is in while loop. You need to write this incrementation, otherwise increment and decrement also can be done, decrement compulsory, otherwise if not infinite means loop will be occurred. Infinite loop occurred. Increment, decrement, compulsory. Increment and decrement compulsory. If not, infinite. If not means what? If increment or decrement is not done, so infinite loop will be occurred. So that is very unit increment. That is very important. So next is what? Join two tuples. Next, how much of time? Joining hash join two tuples. So how to join two tuples? First of, take a tuple 1, simply you take a variable. Simply I am taking tup1 is equal to 10. So this tuple has only one variable. So now if you want to make it a tuple, you need to keep a comma, otherwise Python interpreter understood that it is a variable holding one value. Okay, understood that. I told you that you need to keep the comma. Next, take one more tuple name 2, that is equal to, so suppose if you take 20, so then comma, so it is a tuple. Now then what, if you want to join, take one more tuple 3 is equal to tup1 plus tup2. Okay, so what happened now? Two tuple variables holding these values. So now if you take a printout of tuple 3, so then what happened? Let us see what will be the values. So let us see joining of tuple, that is what? So these 10, 20 two values added to another tuple. Okay, so we will get another tuple, that tuple holding. So if you keep this tuple some values, so that 27 also will be added in this tuple. So if you have this tuple has somewhat 78, these 4 values will be added and new tuple will be created. That is called join two tuples. Okay, next is what? We can multiply tuple values with operator. What operator? Star operator. So let us see. We can multiply values of tuple by star operator. Okay, star operator. So let us see how the code. Suppose this is tup1. So now you use, that is print tup1. How many times you want to multiply? 2 times. So that is what, let us see what will be the happen here. So now what happened? 10, 27, 20, 78. That is what tuple. After that 10, 27, 10, 27. What happened? How many times? this tuple